Let's do this. Everyone get up for a second.
Stand.
Just for a second. Stand. Rise. Oh, youth of America. All right, you guys, this is a thought experiment. Think about the worst stereotype you've been told to your face. The one that stung the most, dug deep, hurt you, hit to your core. You looked at your friend, you said, "Et tu?" On the count of 3, yell that out.
He actually doesn't know my dad.
Oh.
All right, well.
1, and you got to do this too, Jonathan.
I'm going to do it too.
All right, ready, go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Terrorists!
Sound pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. A
Sound
lot of
pretty
love in
good.
the air. All right, now sit down. We have vomited out hate, stereotypes, and we're going to replace that oxygen with something better. So, Jonathan, you are of the Jewish persuasion.
That would be true.
A Muslim and a Jew got invited to Aspen. That's the beginning of a bad joke that can only end badly. Only one left the stage.
That's right.
It's like Hunger Games. There can be only one. I can imagine that you were very popular growing up in school.
Oh, yeah, very.
You were like the
Not so
definition. You're like Zayn Malik of the Jews.
Very much so. I got that a lot. The hair. I think it's the hair. I still get it.
What was it like being a Jewish American in school, and what did you get hit with?
I grew up in a small town in Connecticut. There weren't that many Jews in my town. And I got hit with, "You killed Christ.
No.
Your people control the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're cheap, right? You're stingy." I got hit with all those things. But I got called the Christ killer. And I had coins thrown at me when I was in high school, in school.
How did you respond?
You confront people. I confronted people. I would kind of get in their face, which isn't necessarily the best reaction, just so you understand.
Jonathan Greenblatt of ADL promotes violence against
No,
bullies. Just tweet that out.
Don't get that. No, but really, I mean, I do think one of the things I learned early on is when you hear prejudice, when you hear bigotry, you need to stop, you need to interrupt it. You need to call it out when it happens to you or when it happens to somebody else, somebody around you. What about you? What did you hear?
I was very popular.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Fremontistan, California, the Bay Area. Anyone? Bueller? One person? Thank you for the enthusiasm. Nothing, just a wave. I'll take it. I was and am a left-handed. Anyone left-handed here? Nobody gets it worse than us. We're like the minority that suffers. Smudge marks on the left hand.
I've seen it all.
I was consistently brown-skinned. I was healthy, which is a South Asian way of saying big boned, which is a South Asian way of saying husky, which is a South Asian way of saying fat.
Okay.
So far a winner. Left-handed, fat, brown. My parents thought it'd be hilarious not to teach me English, even though I was born and raised in this country, until I was 5 years old. So when they dropped me off at Child's Hideaway Preschool, true story, they just dropped me off, literally dropped me off without telling me what the F is happening. And my parents only taught me 3 words of English. Shut up, because my mother used to say, shut up. True story. Idiot, because my mother used to say, shut up, idiot. And thank you for applauding my trauma. I appreciate that. And Pete's old enough to remember in the 80s there was a commercial, Spaghetti commercial. You guys remember that? I was a fob, so I used to say, Pasgettio. Fat, left-handed.
Fob means?
Fobby, fresh off the boat. Fresh off the boat, very Muslim-y, total winner, sweat profusely, no English.
You sound like a great
Great
friend.
guy. I was a winner.
Yeah.
And always the token Muslim and the token person of color in schools. And when it came to Muslims, and I joke about this, the worst thing I was called growing up was Gandhi, which is a compliment. And I used to be kind of like the nerdy, thank you. I used to be kind of a nerd, so I used to say, oh, thank you for calling me a pacifist religious leader who helped overthrow 300 years of colonialism and helped usher 3 nation states. And they used to be like,
I'm sure.
And like the bully used to be like, you're fat. And so, but when it came to the Muslim thing, I literally, after 9/11, I was a 20-year-old UC Berkeley college student. 9/11 happened. A Muslim Student Association leader, right? And the joke goes with Muslims, you guys knew 9/11 would happen. And I'm like, if I knew 9/11 would happen, I would have joined the Indian Student Association and my life would have been better. But ever since then, and to this day, it's been like 16 years, right? Since that day of 9/11, I'm asked to be a walking Muslim Wikipedia. Like on the drop of a dime, I have to be an expert on Islam, Quran, Sharia, Prophet Muhammad, Hamas, Fatah, Fatwas, Israel, Palestine, Afghanistan. Seriously, the Iron Sheikh, Bollywood, Salman Khan, the Khan Academy, everything in between. and at Aspen today, it was honestly because you become the representative of 1.6 billion people when your people's voices are erased.
Right.
And you're a sidekick.
Right.
And so to go back to what you said, how do you respond? You got two choices. I made a choice early on. Do I sit in the corner with my tail tucked between my legs, wearing different hats, hiding the Pakistani side, hiding the Muslimi side, hiding the fat side? Or do I embrace all of it and just be who I am and tell the story? And I think you and me, our lives is you're the ambassador of the Jewish people, whether you like it or not. All the Jews, like thousands of years.
Yeah, I'm thrilled about
you have
that.
to answer why you killed Christ. I
Right.
have to answer for ISIS,
Right.
apparently. Went there. We're going to go there, guys. We'll
Right.
keep it real. But that's what I can hit straight talk, no bullshit. Aspen. And I'm going to give it to Greenblatt. Creme de la creme. We're not talking about the gatekeepers. We're talking about the people who create the gates.
Right.
All right? We get asked today, where are the moderate Muslims and how come you guys don't condemn ISIS?
Right.
And so it's almost exhausting. But how do you, and I'm going to pivot to you, look, we deal with this stuff all the time, bullies, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia. How do you make sure that your voice doesn't shrink within itself, that you recede into a corner? Because it's so exhausting and it's so easy to tap out. How do you not tap out?
Well, one of the ways you do it is you build allies. One of the ways you do it is you realize you are not in this alone. So ADL, the organization that I had, was founded over 100 years ago after a Jewish man was lynched, hung from a tree outside of Atlanta. He had been falsely accused of a crime, and there was a sham trial. They found him guilty. They sentenced him to death, but it wasn't justice. The governor commuted his sentence to life imprisonment, and the mob was so angry, they tore him from his prison cell and they hung him from a tree. And then all the elders from the town took pictures next to him hanging from the tree. You can still see him online. And in that moment, actually, two organizations were founded. The KKK was founded in that moment in Marietta, Georgia, and the ADL was founded. And so we've always fought for 100 years to stop defamation of the Jewish people, but also to stand up for everybody else. African Americans, and my predecessors marched in Selma with Dr. King, stand for the LGBTQ community, and we stood up for marriage equality long before it was popular. So I think one of the best ways that we can not shrink, but we can stand proud, is by realizing we are not in this alone.
What happens if there is a Jonathan Greenblatt right here, the youthful Jonathan Greenblatt, and he has no allies? Like there's someone who's overweight, someone who's black, someone who's queer, someone who's Muslim, and they're like, dude, I literally have no allies. I am the token in my school. I get shit on every day.
Well, I could answer that, but I want somebody in here to answer that. Stand up, somebody raise your hand and tell us, how have you dealt with bigotry?
Go for it, bro.
Or prejudice, or bullying? What'd you do? Yeah, you in the blue hat? Tell us your name and where you're from.
I'm Tyrell. I'm from Orange, New Jersey. I'm here with the Bezos Scholars Program. And like when I came to this country in 2009, right, I was bullied and stuff like that. But
Where'd you come from? From what country?
Nigeria, Africa.
Nice. We'll snap Nigeria. Come on, give Nigeria some love.
But yeah, I came in 2009, did not speak English, stuff like that. And like this kid, we tried to take advantage of that. And it got to one point, I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Some students thought it would be funny to put hand sanitizer in my water while I went to the bathroom. So I came back, I drank it. And like for the rest of the week, I didn't come to school because I was in and out of the hospital. And they thought it was funny, but then so I added, and like now, wanting to take that, like I use my aggression in a way. So like whenever kids try to bother me or talk smack about me, I just joke them up and push them to the side and say, if you're not gonna like Eric Green said, if you're not gonna play nice, so neither am I. And like I'm tired of it, so I just use my aggression and it got to a point where I didn't have to use that no more. I just have to use my knowledge, show them that I'm right here, so I don't have to waste my time arguing with somebody that's
Good
down
for
here.
you. Good for you.
Let's get a woman right
Somebody
there
else.
at the table. Yeah. Let's go. Let's have some gender equity here.
Where?
Gender equity. Female speaker.
Right there.
My name is Veronica.
Hey, Veronica.
I'm from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I've been 5'1" for a year now. My entire life I've been under 4 feet. I've been bullied for being short, small, petite, whatever you want to call it. The way I dealt with that is I used that. I brought out my feisty side. You know, they always say shorter people are feisty. Got to watch out because we will pop up literally anywhere, and I've used that to my advantage. So people don't really see me coming, but I'm always there. Not even kidding.
Beware.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I work at the hot springs in Glenwood, and everybody there is probably about 5'7". I'm the shortest one. They always put me in the counter because I'm the only one that can see under the top of the window. And that really sucks, but I use it to my advantage. I'm high on the schedule now because I know my job and I do it well.
Good for you.
So I just use that as like my leverage.
Can I give an example? I'll give an example. I want to say something. If there's only one thing you remember, is this: is if you aren't writing your story is always being written for you by others. And if you aren't telling your story will always be told to you by others. And I appreciate the two that we had speak right now. We're going to get more people to speak up. But the power of just being one individual who is woke and decides to stand up and speak. I'll give you one quick example, because Neil was here. He just reminded me of this. Muslim ban dropped January, all right? And if you guys remember, there was a resistance and a reaction where multicultural communities, a coalition of the willing, spontaneously got up and did what? Went to airports and welcomed people to the shore. You guys remember that? I had a friend, Jay Passari, who knew me when I was healthy, husky, lentil on my shirt. He Facebook messages me and says the following. I haven't talked to him in years. He says, Waj, I've been following you from afar and following what you've been doing, speaking about the American Muslim experience. I didn't take seriously what you were saying then, but now I take it seriously. I've been following you for a while. You've been my Muslim friend, and guess what? I'm going to stand up for you. Me and my girlfriend are going to go to the airport. Tell me what else I can do. All right? Don't underestimate your power, because for many people, you might be the only 5'1" person, the only Nigerian immigrant, the only LGBTQ person. And the way you deal with people, it sucks to be the ambassador of an entire people.
Right.
But the way you present yourself to many people, when something like this drops, a Muslim ban, cake bans, racism,
Right.
Anti-Semitism, they're gonna be like, you know what? I actually know a Jewish guy. He's not cheap.
Right.
That dude gave the dopest tip of all time. And so give me an example here. Jonathan made a great point. America is about carrying each other's waters. So that means a Muslim man has to stand up for Black Lives Matter. That means an African American has to stand for a Jewish American brother.
Right.
That means someone who's LGBT has to stand up for a woman. Who here has carried someone else's water?
Yeah, talk about being an ally and tell us what you did. Raise your hand high. How about, where's the mic? It's over there.
How about this side? This side doesn't get any love.
Over
Come
here.
on now.
This gentleman in the blue shirt.
How's it going? My name's Dalton Price. I'm from
Can you
Daytona.
stand up, Dalton? So
Yeah. Dalton, I'm from Daytona Beach, Florida. And one of my best friends from high school, she's Muslim.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The voice of all the Muslims. You're like, there's another.
Allahu Akbar.
There were a lot of parents in our high school who were trying to remove the Islam chapter from our world history textbooks.
Wow.
So it was a big thing in our community and things like that. But myself and a few others, all of whom were white, got together and said, hey, this is not okay. We're not Muslim. But that doesn't mean we can't be an ally. That doesn't mean we can't uphold her rights and us wanting to learn about her religion and things like that. So we went to the school board and got a petition with over 1,000 signatures and things like that, presented our viewpoints, and then they shut it down. So stand up for people.
Bravo. All right, somebody else who's been an ally. How about a woman?
Right there? Anyone?
Anyone?
That was the only ally in the room.
There's one.
That was literally it. There's just
This
one.
gentleman's had his hand up here with the striped shirt in the middle of the room and the blue hat. Uh-oh. Expectations.
Hello, my name is Milo. I'm from Philly.
Philly.
And, I mean, we lit hard, but I was in middle school, and these guys were picking on this girl because she had a hijab on. And I stood up for her. I said, that's messed up. That's part of her culture. You can't do that. And then they ripped it off her head. And that was really messed up. And my teacher didn't even do anything. So I went to the principal. I said what happened. I'm a snitch. I don't care. I'm standing up for what's right. But it got fixed right away, and I was happy about that.
Good for you. How about there in the back? There's a hand.
Hi, My name's Forrest. I'm from Aspen. Mine's kind of a mixture of the topics. I'm trans. I went to school in a town called Sherman in North Texas, and I got the shit beaten out of me a lot. It was not friendly. The rule was generally, you're safe on campus. And I had a lot of really good friends who helped me stay alive, literally. And it meant the world to me. It really did.
Thank you, Charles. So I've got a question for you. How many of you use, let's say, Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram in the last, say, 24 hours? Raise your hands.
In the last 24 minutes. All right.
So how many of you have seen sort of harassment or bullying on Twitter or Facebook or Snap or Instagram? Raise your hands.
Instagram.
So now here's the next question. Who did something about it? And what'd you do? How about you in the pink hat? Just,
You go. Backwards
Go.
hat. Pink. We got you.
it's coming.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I actually have had the unfortunate
What's your name? Tell us
experience.
where you're
I'm
from.
Lily. I've had the unfortunate experience of having some family members that really kind of judge you on your beliefs, whether you are or aren't religious, or if you're more liberal than conservative. And unfortunately, one of them put up a comment that said something about, you know, if you believe this, then maybe you should just commit suicide. And I called him out on it, and he put up another post about me. So I unfriended him, and I'm never talking to him again, because you don't put up with people telling people to commit violence against themselves just from being different than you.
Good for you.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Anyone else?
How about right here in the front?
Okay, so
What's your name and where you from?
My name is Bruce Banner, and so you know,
He's the Hulk.
I
He's
can
gonna Hulk
tell.
out.
A green tinge to you, Bruce. We can see that.
and so look, I was on Facebook one time, and I heard someone talking about gay people and how he hated them and how they were a discrimination against us, and it was very derogatory. And so I'm not gonna say exactly what I said because I don't think a lot of people would agree with what I said, but you know, I like it really backfired against him. And, you know, we got into this huge argument, and we debated and all kind of stuff like that. And, you know, I just reported him, and his Facebook channel is, his Facebook page is shut down now. So, you
Wow.
know, I really put it up against him.
Wow, good for you, Brandon.
Never underestimate. I'll give you a strategy because we've been through this. I always joke with people. People don't expect Muslims to be funny, believe it or not. They're always like, you guys are very, I'm like, what's this? Like, constipated? No, just, I'm like, serious? Like, serious? Yes, serious.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people of color, minorities, you get hit with so much that it's like you respond with Daffy Duck. I know, it's hilarious. Just kidding. You guys are having fun. You want to respond like Daffy Duck, right? You get angry, suffering succotash, you get upset, you sweat, and you respond.
Yeah.
But sometimes responding like Bugs Bunny is a bit better. Be 2 steps ahead, be witty, be funny, and snap back with an erudite, witty comment. And literally people get shut down and humiliated, right? And so sometimes being the Bugs Bunny instead of the Daffy Duck upends stereotypes and wins over an audience. And one thing I'll say, because we're ending, and then I'm going to give it over to Zayn Malik of the Jews,
I'm going to sing.
is listen, just because your story had a rough beginning doesn't mean it has to end that way.
That's good.
I was healthy, bullied, mocked, no words of English. I ended up graduating with an English major from UC Berkeley. I write for the New York Times, and I married a all-American athlete, baller doctor, a married up woman who used to be the varsity cheerleader. Hashtag it gets better, Muslims will win. Jonathan.
Look, that is a tough act to follow, even for the Zayn Malik of the Jews.
No, man, Zayn Malik of the Jews, you win.
I'm not going to tell you the story of my life, but what I'm just going to say is that speak up, be an ally.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we didn't say is you got to reach out. So reach out to that your best. I'm glad your best friend was a Muslim and you stood up for her. I'm glad you stood up for the girl who had her hijab taken off her head. Everybody can reach out to somebody, whether they're short or whether they're LGBTQ, trans specifically. All of us have the power to write our own story. All of us have the power to reach out to those who are different. And together, I think, step by step, we can make the world a better place.
And the final thing I say, use us as resources if we can help you. Especially this guy, he's powerful. He's like the president of ADL.
And
so
I also married up to a baller wife, by the way.
Take care, guys. We're done.
Bye.